Hello and welcome to Taking the Biz. In this video, just for GCSE Business students, we're going to be having a look at the kind of aims and objectives that organisations might set as their targets. So an objective is a goal or a target that the managers or the owners of an organisation have set to try and achieve over a period of time. And often these targets might be quantifiable. So they might want to try and achieve a numeric target as one of their goals so that they can measure whether or not they have achieved it at the end of the period of time that they have set that objective for. Now, in business, we can generally split the kind of goals or aims and objectives that managers and owners have set for their organisation into two different categories. Some of the aims and objectives that managers and owners set might be seen as to do with the financial performance of the organisation, whereas other aims and objectives are more closely associated with non-financial performance matters. So if we have a look at the kind of different financial performance objectives that managers and owners might have set for their business. Well, if it's a new organisation, particularly if it's a smaller ownership type, such as perhaps a sole traders or a partnership, the most fundamental objective for those business owners might be the mere survival of the business that they run. So many new business organisations that start up fail within the first 12 weeks, never mind the first 12 months. So it makes sense that owners might go into the starting of a new business venture with the realistic ambition of just still being in business at the end of an agreed period of time, making sure that their business breaks even and that their business can pay all of its financial commitments. And then once that business has become a bit more established, they might start to set more ambitious financial targets, such as achieving a certain profit level. Perhaps the most common aim and objective for all business organisations is to achieve an agreed level of profit during a time period. So these objectives might actually be to do with achieving a certain level of profit in terms of pounds and pence. So a business might set itself the target of achieving £50,000 profit, or it might be an objective to do with improving profits by a certain percentage. So by the end of the financial year, we want to improve profits by 8%. Other businesses might not focus exclusively on profits, but might just try and develop their business and attract more customers by setting targets to do with sales figures. So again, this can be a numeric target, such as the business wants to attract 10,000 customers in its first year, or again, it could be a percentage improvement aim or objective. We want to grow sales by 20% during the next 12 months. Other businesses, again, perhaps the new ones or maybe the more established ones as well, might actually focus in on how they're competing with rivals and how the sales of their business are comparing to other firms in the market by setting themselves market share objectives. And market share is the percentage of sales in a market that your business has achieved. So a business that's currently selling 10% of all of the cars in the UK might set itself the target of improving that percentage, and by the end of the next year or by 2 years' time to be selling 15% of the cars in the UK automobile market. So trying to establish a market share or increase and grow market share is a very common objective, because the managers of businesses know that if their business increases their share of the market, that means that they're taking away the share of somebody else, a rival in that industry. So it can be a very competitive aim or objective for a business to pursue. The other financial objective that managers and owners might just be striving towards is financial stability. So for smaller organisations, maybe sole traders and partnerships, financial security might relate to how much they can withdraw from the business. They might set themselves the objective of being able to earn enough from the business that they've started to be more financially secure. For larger organisations, financial security aims and objectives might relate to the business being able to pay all of its financial commitments. Larger businesses that may have experienced cash flow shortages and not being able to honour all of their financial commitments might decide to set themselves a target for the next period of time to make sure that their business is a little bit more financially secure, their business is a little bit more solvent and can always meet its financial commitments. However, businesses don't just exclusively focus on financial aims and objectives. There are some non-financial matters, some matters that don't involve the cold hard facts of money and sales and profits, that businesses might set themselves as targets. So lots of businesses, particularly more established and larger organisations, might also set some social objectives as well. These could be to do with serving a particular stakeholder in the community, or making sure that the business donates some of its profits to a particular good cause. Often businesses are setting social objectives to do with the environment and trying to make sure that their business reduces its impact on the local area where the business operates in, or its wider impact on the global environment. But businesses might also have personal objectives as well. This is particularly true for new organisations run by sole traders or partnerships. They might have some more personal goals that they would like to achieve from the business they have started. For example, they might have a particular challenge that they want to try and accomplish by starting their business. Maybe it's just to see their idea come to fruition. Maybe it's just to help a certain group in society. But they have this personal goal, this personal challenge that has caused them to leave their job and not seek a place in employment anymore, but instead want to run their own organisation. Lots of people who are starting businesses also do so because they're unhappy with the kind of working life that they have when they have a job. So they might set themselves objectives to do with their own working life, to do with grabbing greater independence over their working life, or to have greater control over decision making on what goes on in their organisation. So for smaller businesses, there's also these personal goals that they might be striving towards alongside perhaps trying to survive or trying to make a certain level of profit. Now, crucially, it's important to know for our exams why owners and managers even set goals and aims and objectives for the businesses that they own and run. Well, goals and objectives and aims are crucial because they provide people in the organisation with a target. It's a way for the owners or the managers of the business to communicate to other people in the organisation that these are our priorities. This is what we want you to make the focus of the work that you do for us. These are the things that this business values the most. Now, when it comes to social objectives, these objectives are also useful to communicate to other stakeholder groups that these are the values of the business. So if a business has an objective to do with an environmental goal, or it has an objective to do with helping a certain aspect or group in society, then it helps communicate to people outside of the business that this is what we stand for, this is what we value, this is what we're going to try and achieve over the next time period. The other big advantage of aims and objectives is that they can be used by managers and the owners to assess the performance of the business that they own or run. If they set objectives for a 12 or 24-month period, then during that time span they can monitor the performance of the business against the objectives that they've set. They can measure whether the business is on track to set the targets that they have laid out for the business to try and achieve. Of course, this might also be motivational for people as well. When you're measuring the objectives that you've set for your business and how you are proceeding towards achieving those objectives, it can be very motivational for employees to see how the business is performing compared to the objectives, or to measure their own personal performance at work and see how much they are contributing to the objectives of the organization. So goal setting and objectives and aims for an organization can be a crucial way of trying to measure the ongoing success and performance of a business. We can break those objectives into financial and non-financial targets to try and achieve. Hopefully that video helps you. We'll see you very soon, and you keep on taking the biz.